Hey guys, it's Abby. I'm back with another video, and today I will be doing my February wrap-up. So this was a pretty good reading month. I think I've really been on a good pace. I read 6 books this month, so I think that's kind of equal to what I read last month, so that's really exciting. I am way ahead on my Goodreads goals, so maybe I should have shot a little higher, but we'll see how the rest of the year goes. Anyways, let's get into the wrap-up. So the first book that I read this month was Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I did a book review on this, so if you want to watch that, I'll link it below. But I loved this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was so fun. I don't know what took me so long to get into this series, but it was so good. And if you don't know, it's a retelling of Cinderella where Cinderella is a cyborg, and it's based off of Cinderella, but it's still its own story, its own thing. I can't wait to read the rest of the series and the rest of the fairy tale retellings, and everyone loves the series, and I'm already obsessed with the characters, and I cannot wait to see what else is in store for these guys. The second book I read this month was The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. At first, I was really excited about this book because up until about halfway through, I loved it, and I love Holly Black's writing style. I really enjoy it. I've always loved her writing, but for some reason it slowed down a lot in the middle, which is bizarre because it's a shorter book. And it slowed down, and I got really bored, and I had to set it down and kind of like, bye son. Man, I just lost all my lighting. And so, oh, it's back. There we go. We're good, guys. So I gave it a lower rating than I feel like it deserved. But that's just because I had not that great an experience reading it. The story was super unique, super cool. If you don't know what it's about this town. It's kind of magical realism. Everyone thinks it's fantasy, but I really did not get fantasy. Like, it's fantasy, but it's just this one town, and I don't even know what state they're in, but it's a town called Fairfold. And in this town, there's a boy in a glass coffin, and the fairies and the humans live in peace together just in this one town. And someone breaks the boy out of the coffin, and everything breaks loose, and it follows a girl and her brother and their struggles just as teenagers, but also dealing with this magical town that they live in. And it was really well done and well written and well rounded. It slowed down so much in the middle, and I think the pacing is just what threw me off. I love Holly Black's writing, but her pacing always slows me down. So I gave it like a 3.5, but I think I'd bump it up to a 4 because the story was really good. I just didn't have the best experience reading it. The next 2 books that I read I don't have with me because I loaned them off to my friend, but the first one I read was the first one out of these 2 that I read was Lumberjanes Volume 1, the graphic novel. Really fun. Loved this story. I loved the characters, and the art was really fun, and I laughed out loud when reading it because I thought it was so cute. It's a really diverse group of girls, and they're all super different, and you can really feel their personalities through their outfits and their dialogue, and it's really cute. I can't wait to keep reading the rest of it. I mean, it's not super thought-provoking, but it's a really cute story about this girls' camp, and they have to battle these monsters, and it's just really sweet, and there's some LGBT aspects in it, which is really great, and I appreciated that, and it was just really good, and I enjoyed reading it, and it was fun. It made me happy reading it, so I definitely suggest that one. The next one that I read that I also don't have is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I adored this book. I think I mentioned it in one of my other videos, but it was so good. I don't know why I never read the series, but it was so good, and I've read some of Maggie Stiefvater's other stuff, and I really enjoyed it when I was younger, but I haven't picked up any of her other things, and her writing is so lyrical and beautiful, and there's just so much about this book that I just couldn't even put into words how much I liked it, which is why I didn't do a review on it, because I felt like it was just didn't even need one, because it's just so good, and I want to continue on the series so much, because I didn't think I'd like the group of boy aspects, because it's not told in their point of views, but I don't usually enjoy that whole, like, the group of boys doing their thing, but these boys are so detailed in their characteristics and so interesting, and I really enjoy Blue as a character as well. So I felt like it was a really well-rounded story with well-rounded characters, and it's so cool and mysterious and just a great read. Like 5 out of 5, one of the best books I've read in a long time. The next book that I read and recently finished and have a review on is The Love That Split the World by Emily Henry. This book was really, really good. I talked about it a lot in my book review, so I won't go on too much, but it's super diverse, super healthy relationships, really well done. I love the Native American aspect of it. Beautiful cover, really cool magical realism story, an amazing debut novel for this author, and I really, really loved this book too. This was also 5 out of 5, so this was a really good reading month for me. And I don't know what else to say about this book, but if you want to know a little bit about it, if you're interested in reading it, it follows a Native American girl named Natalie, and she is adopted, and she sees this apparition that tells her Native American stories, and she calls it her grandmother. And her grandmother comes to her one last time a couple months before she graduates high school and tells her that she has to save this boy in 3 months or he is going to die. And she doesn't know who the boy is or the man is. She just says, you have to save him in 3 months. So that is kind of her journey with this, and her seeing things and kind of these visions that she has. And it's kind of like parallel universe-y, and it's really, really cool. And I really suggest this book. It's great, and it's just a really, really, I felt like it really touched. It was a really personal book for me, and I really enjoyed it. The last book I'm going to talk about is one that I have not quite finished, but I know that I'll finish it either today or tomorrow, so it will be done in February, just not quite yet. And that is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. And I don't know why I hadn't read this book. And I think because I wasn't that interested in the whole twin thing, I wasn't like, I just didn't feel that big connection to it. But this is some of the most beautiful writing, and the characters are so dynamic that I feel like I am the characters, or I'm walking around and I'm still thinking about this book even after I've set it down. And the artistic parts of this book, because both the characters are artists, is so interesting and thought-provoking, and both of the characters from their different ages really exemplify growth and growing up and coming of age. And this is one of the best coming of age books I've read in a long, long time. It's so good and heartbreaking, but also really beautiful, and the way that they describe first loves is so true. I just feel like it's so right. I am so sorry about this lighting. It is just all over the place. The sun's back and forth and back and forth. Please ignore that. It's just so true and raw, and I really, really love that about this book. And the sibling thing is just really heartbreaking when you're reading their perspectives, because you can tell that they're on the same wavelength. They think in the same ways, but yet they're so far apart. And I haven't finished it, so obviously I don't know what happens yet, but I love it so much already. I already have like my mind set out on this being a 5 out of 5 stars, and I'll probably do a book review on it. And at first I didn't want to, because it's been around for so long and everybody's read it already. But nope, I haven't really seen very many book discussions about it, and I feel like there's so much to say about this book. So I'm going to do it anyways, just because I want to put my feelings on this book out there. But this is so amazing, and I get why it's so hyped, because it is so well written. It's just amazing. I'm really, really enjoying this one, and I can't wait to finish it. So that is my February wrap up. I hope you guys liked it. I'll be putting my March TBR up soon. I don't want to put them together. I know I've done that like once or twice, but I've been reading so much, and I want to be able to say enough about each book. So that will be coming soon. It was a really great reading month, and I can't wait to see how March comes out. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in my next video.